Warning, this video may have some language that may be offensive to some viewers. MachoBurger Productions apologizes if we offend anyone. Viewer discretion is advised. Please enjoy the show. Welcome back to MachoBurger Productions. It's been 2 years since we've done anything. I apologize for that. But this is MachoBurger Presents the MachoBurger Podcast. You know, I'm excited to be back. And if you can't tell by the two very nice, blue, and comfortable looking chairs, I have two guests tonight. And my first guest is the beautiful, first time ever being on here, the very sexy Jordan Clarke. What's up, man? I'm glad to have you for the first time. And my second guest is he's been here a few times actually. He is the beautiful, well-rounded man, all around video game god James McDowell.
Good to be back.
Woo!
It's a pleasure.
Yeah.
Cheers, fellas.
Woo! Cheers. I love your beard. I've heard that you have went on an incredible journey as of late. You want to talk about that?
Oh, yeah, sure. I'll talk about it a little bit. So technically the journey started back in August.
Yeah.
Maybe July anyway. The end of the summer, started my Instagram page, started working out a lot. You know, just knew that I was going to college. I needed to get myself prepared for that, and I figured the best way to do it was just by losing weight. And I figured the Instagram page would just kind of help keep me responsible for what I'm doing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Accountable.
Yeah.
So, I did it for a little bit, and then, just a lot of stuff happened, a lot of personal stuff went down, and I quit working out. I ended up gaining a bunch more weight than I already weighed, but then, I fell into some really dark times, and I just realized that I had to build myself back up, So I started it up again back in February, about halfway through February, and lost like a little over 70 pounds now, so
Oh, yeah.
it's been a good start, just going to keep grinding until I go to school. So.
Congratulations, man.
Thanks, man.
Big news.
Big news.
Oh, yeah.
Big news.
What have you been up to?
Well, just working at school. You can catch me on the journey. I
Oh,
think I've been tagged twice, but I go with James here at least once or twice a week. Try to.
Nice.
I've slacked off in
Give
the
or
past month.
give or
Slacked
take.
off in the past month. But I normally go with him a couple times a week. He keeps me on track.
Yeah, I feel that. Looking at your arms, not in a weird way, but how much you bench press?
At my height or right now?
Either or. We'll go from height and then we'll go as now.
Well, in football, when high school when I was playing
Yeah.
football and all, I was probably putting up about 250, 260-ish, but now 180, 185 max.
Makes you feel better. I'm like a solid 60.
You need to gain 9 more pounds, my friend.
60 nice.
Nice.
Hey, what about you, my friend?
My best, my senior year was 205, and now, maybe I could probably do like one rep of maybe 150, maybe. Wouldn't you say so?
Yeah, easily.
Because I can rep out like 135 still, so I could probably do
Nice.
about 150, 160.
You did 155 with me the other day on bench for 8 sets of 4.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember that.
I do.
Okay. My chest has gotten a lot stronger too, though, but I have no idea what my max would be. We should do that.
Now,
We need to do that.
You do need to.
when did you graduated when MachoBurger was still going?
Oh
right?
yeah, MachoBurger started up my senior year, so 2016, so
Okay.
2 years now.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know we started in 2015, and then we did a lot of videos, and then I tried to do this March Madness video, and I got really burnt out after that, and then that's why I stopped.
Mm.
And then now 2 years later, I kind of missed it, you know what I mean? And I said something about it, like, hey man, who would be interested if I brought it back? And I got like a lot of people who were interested, and I was like, oh wow, I didn't think I had this much of a outreach here.
Following.
Oh, yeah, man, that's awesome.
With,
So
with
we
you
brought it
asking
back.
all the questions, what's changed in your life, Big Daddy D now?
I grew up my hair since the last episode. I grew up my beard. I shaved my beard once,
Oh.
and I look like Wolverine's cousin.
Can you sir?
You can say that.
Okay. It's a medical term.
It's a medical term. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I looked awkwardly stupid. That's why we have the warning label in front of this. You know?
That's
That's
a
a
fair
good-
point.
that's a
a
good
fair
point.
And it's
Yeah.
also 2018, so everyone's offended by everything.
It's 2018. I can be an Apache helicopter. He can be a woman. We can. You can.
If
pick what
only
you
I
wanna
would
do
have been a
now.
few months ago.
Oh, self-roasts are the best.
Cheers to that one.
But in the past couple of years,
No, I caught that one a little late.
Yeah.
yeah,
I think he did too.
yeah, I grew up my hair, grew up my beard. Had a weird personal thing going on, like the same as you, which I was gonna try to bring this back in 2017, but I never really said anything about it, and I just never got around to it. And I know the co-host Jonathan Jacobs, he moved to Charlotte, so
Big success down there.
yeah, he works at a place, he loves it. He will be on as much as he can, but I know he's gonna do other things like drawings and stuff. He's gonna post those and whatnot. And I'm just doing podcasts and probably album reviews. But no, I got tattoos since I was gone. So
What's your newest piece?
my newest piece is this beautiful tiger I got with all the roses and flowers and stuff.
Is there symbolism behind that?
It's from my grandparents. My grandparents called me Tiger when I was a kid.
Oh, wow.
And my grandpa passed away about 5 years ago. So I was just like, yeah, why not? Why I'll go and get it for him. And I gave it blue eyes because they both had blue eyes.
Ironic that you grew up to graduate as a tiger.
Yeah, I did.
We all did.
Yeah.
Yeah, woo! I'll cheers to that one.
FTF.
Woo!
Too bad that place sucks now.
There's a lot of controversial topics that wasn't around in 2015,
Wasn't around the
2016.
beginning of MachoBurger.
Yeah. Now
It's
it's
running around.
Now it's
Yeah.
like it's such a big thing right now.
Yeah.
It's just everything is.
like even tips are controversial now. Like when you go to a restaurant, that's controversial.
Yeah.
But
I mean, if you got $3 in your pocket, you know, you go into the restaurant one day, you tip the waiter $3. The next day, you got $2.50 in your pocket, and you tip another waiter $2.50. Then they're gonna hate you because you think it's some kind of bias against them.
yeah,
That's all I had
It's
my
also-
money at the time.
It's also just trash that they pay the servers like they do, and tips have to be a thing anyway.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's just dumb.
America's the only place and custom that does tipping.
Wow.
I learned that from that TV show on True TV, I think. It's
Mhm.
Adam Bruins Everything. That's where I learned that from. We're the only place that does tipping, and we started it because of the Great Depression.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a way to, the way that the owner could save money by paying his servers less.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I guess for the time that made sense, but now, I mean,
Yeah.
not really.
Yeah,
I don't think.
yeah.
Speaking of the Great Depression and saving money, actually, my great grandma used to tell me stories of her dad worked for it was like a blackberry company. I think they made jams and stuff like that. And he said if the kids would work all day picking the blackberries for free, he'd let them stay in his mill house rent free, and that was how they survived through the Great Depression.
It's not bad.
A lot of sacrifices were made back then.
It's wild.
Do you think we could go into another Great Depression?
the Great Depression was caused by, stock market drop and then people immediately selling out. If they would have held their stocks and sat, the Great Depression wouldn't have been nearly as bad as what it was. And I think looking back on the Great Depression happening, people know and they have checks and balances now to help prevent something that catastrophic from happening again. In 2008, obviously, we had a terrible economic, just it fell all to pieces.
Yeah.
But something as bad as in the 1920s, I don't think we will see that, at least within the near future.
I don't either.
Because there's a lot of controversy with our current president now.
Mm-hmm.
They don't like him because he's not politically correct. And he pretty much won via Twitter, pretty much.
Yeah.
I don't personally mind the guy. I don't think he's doing a terrible job. I know a lot of people on the internet are like, oh, he's doing terrible, we should get him out of there. But he's really not doing that bad of a job, you know what I'm saying?
I feel like people's problem with Trump is today everything's so, you get immediate gratification. You post something on Twitter about hating Trump and 8,000 people can like it in 30 minutes, you know? And that makes you a big hit. So what are you going to do again? You're just going to keep bashing and bashing. And that's a current trend right now. People need to respect the man for what he's done.
Yeah.
Whether you like him or not, you can at least respect him for his role as presidency. And I think he's doing what he thinks best for our country. Congress and Senate are allowing this to happen. The House and everything. So give him a chance. You don't want your pilot to fail if you step onto an airplane one day. So
yeah, for sure.
And do you have any opinions on the matter?
No, not really. I think you guys summed it up pretty good.
Another thing is you going with the bashing thing. That's been a common trend since 2013, 14? Because look at Nickelback. I mean, their music. They're doing the exact same thing to Trump they're doing to Nickelback.
Honestly, I would go further back than that.
Yeah, maybe 2011, 12-ish.
When did they drop their AP?
96.
I mean, because I know, if you listen to songs like "Photograph," "Animals," "Far Away," "Rockstar,"
great song.
"Gotta Be Somebody," "How You Remind Me," everything up to 2009 wasn't terrible. And then I think people don't like them because they didn't change their sound. Because you have artists who change their sound like Linkin Park,
Taylor Swift changed so much over the years.
Coldplay.
Yeah, but there's also bands they're not as mainstream, but still the Foos and shit. They've never changed.
Yeah, they never changed sounds, and that's probably why they kind of fell.
But
out of relevancy, kind of.
To an extent, maybe. But Wasting Light won 5 Grammys.
Yeah. And
that was 16 years after they'd been together.
Yeah, that was in the land of dubstep too.
Yeah,
when everyone was trying to do the dubstep stuff.
I don't know. I just feel like people don't like Nickelback, and I might get some flack for this, but first of all, Creed sucks.
I agree.
And they sound like Creed. They come from that same place that Creed came from.
Hard rock, but not grunge.
Yeah, it was like hard rock, but it was a new kind of hard rock with the preachy tone and stuff.
Yeah.
And honestly, I feel like it's because Nickelback has managed to be successful.
I kind of see it more of I feel like it's kind of a college rock. They got a kind of
the vibe
down undertone to their music. It's not as upbeat. It's
I can see that to an extent.
Because I'm sure all the rhythms and stuff is easy to play. And,
I'm sure they're the exact same.
Yeah. Because I know someone has taken "How You Remind Me" and "Someday" and mashed it together and it's the exact same song except for the lyrics.
Yeah.
But and honestly, I think that's why people hate Nickelback, because all their songs really sound the same. And I know that's why a lot of bands get hatred, because a lot of their stuff does sound the same, or they sell out and go pop, or they sell out and go political. That's why Green Day lost a lot of fans, because they went super political.
Lost me.
Even as we were talking about earlier, Billy Joe Armstrong dropped a country album.
Yeah, he did.
I just found that out today.
He did drop a country album. I've never personally listened to it because I'm not a country music fan.
No, not at all.
But so I probably won't listen to it. I mean, it's not to say if someone was to be like, hey, can you review this country album? I'll probably still do it.
Why?
Because I respect my fans.
Gotta give the fans what they want.
I'll give it an honest review as well.
Well, you can respect them all you want, but if you like country music, they have a shit taste in music. Yeah, you heard me, Jordan.
We're fighting off camera later.
I'll film that. I'll scream World Star in the background.
That'll be on the blooper reel.
But going back to that, with music and stuff, politicalness. I don't think your whatever your political views, I don't think it should be going into your music, man.
I don't either. And it's like these people, they act like, oh well, I have a platform, so I should speak for everybody that doesn't have a platform. And like maybe to an extent that's true, but it's also, and you can't tell me it's not. They're just doing it for relevancy, to get their name out there. Like, because how many stars bash Trump? You know what I'm saying?
What?
All of them, basically.
Yeah.
Not all of them, but a lot of them. And it's just because it's the popular thing to do.
Yeah.
I was watching a sports network the other day while I was at work, actually, and the person that was doing the whatever, they was talking about how Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady are some of the best leaders to ever step onto a football field, but they're lacking when it comes to being anti-Trump or speaking on any of the big matters at hand right now going around the NFL or whatever. And I don't think that they should catch hate for not wanting to speak out against that, because their profession is a football player.
Yeah.
If they're making a very smart move by not doing anything towards fans on either side. They're there what they're there for. They lead their team, they play football, and they stay out of all this political mumbo-jumbo that's going on at the time. And I really respect that about them. I think that's what they should be doing. I stand up for what you believe in, but to an extent. Especially when you have so many sanctions by who you play for, such as like the NBA, NFL, NHL. Don't step on something that could hurt your career potentially.
Yeah. And that's why Eminem kind of lost me on his last album.
Same.
Like the best two songs on his last album, which was I think it was called Revival, was like the last two songs, and they were like the only two that wasn't really political, and it actually sounded like Eminem.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of the songs really didn't have that Eminem vibe, and a lot of it was political and bashing Trump.
Mm-hmm.
But if you notice in like music, not just Eminem, but like just music in general, a lot of them bashed Bush.
Mm-hmm.
And from the Obama era, no one really
said a word.
No one really said a word in music or anything. And then as soon as Trump came in, it was back to the bashing.
Mm-hmm. It's the popular thing to do.
Yeah. And it sells albums. Mm-hmm. That's what it does. I mean, because Eminem definitely used this to sell this album.
Yeah, he did.
Because it wasn't that good. No offense. He's the last person I want mad at me. Because he will probably literally kill me. But
Gucci Mane would probably kill you before.
That's true.
I'm afraid of Gucci, and I've never met him.
Waka Flocka.
I'm not afraid of Gucci because he has an ice cream cone on his face.
But that's hard, dude.
Yeah,
if you're gonna put an ice cream cone on your face and not care what people say to you, like if somebody comes up to Gucci Mane's like that's stupid, he's probably gonna kill him.
Yeah.
I heard he did that as a sales tactic, and that's actually a really smart sales tactic.
That is smart. His number one advertising feature.
Because like, what's the first thing you think of when you think of the name Gucci Mane? You think of the ice cream cone.
Yep. I think of the ice cream cone, and I think of Weeby Steady Mama, the song he has.
I think of him as the father of trap. Nobody did trap before Gucci.
Is that true?
I don't really dig it now. So
I mean, that's cool.
It's not my genre of music.
No, it's not really my thing.
I'm more of a rock guy.
Oh, yeah, me too. Same.
I'm pretty big into trap music.
Whenever I think trap music, I think of like remixes and stuff though, with like the drops and stuff. But that's just because I don't really know the difference.
I thought,
I guess,
as like a white guy who listens to like nothing but rock, I thought trap music meant like those mumble rapper guys, like the little Yachty dude. He looks like he's a guy that looks like a grown up like Candy Factory, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
I actually like two Little Yachty songs.
But
sorry.
That is a guy with the Twizzler looking hair, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe 3.
Okay.
Anyway.
I know he did that song with that rapper Kyle. I liked.
Oh yeah.
I Spy.
I Spy.
That's the only one. Song I know, Little Yachty.
But he just features in that one.
And he also did that Sprite commercial.
It gets
Yeah.
like a Sprite soda.
I remember that.
Yeah,
He's
they played that in the movies.
Yeah, like right before your movie started.
Ah.
Because
was so good.
LeBron James, I've never heard like an entire theater of old people very uncomfortably laugh.
They're
They're like,
is this supposed to be funny?
yeah, because you know how racist a lot of old people are, so they're probably very confused.
Yeah.
Who's your top 5 or 10 music artists?
Oh God, that's hard. Okay, so my favorite band is Blink-182.
Yeah.
Undisputed. Everybody who knows me knows that. Knows I love me some Blink.
It's also why you got the checkered vans.
Checkered Vans. Always. Hey man, if you're close enough to me, you know the story. All right.
That's true. Yeah.
So and then
Sold you those Vans.
you did. You sold me those.
You sold me the shoes I'm wearing, actually.
I did.
Oh my God!
I sold
This
myself
guy.
the shoes I have on my feet.
Alright, so I don't. There's no order after Blink though.
Okay.
Because there's really not. I mean,
Okay.
there's just no way I could do it. The front bottoms. I think my favorite rapper would probably either be like Gambino, but older Gambino. I really like older Gambino.
Yeah,
I
that's
feel
what his
that.
album was.
I wasn't a huge fan of his new stuff.
I liked the Prince vibe it had.
Yeah, but I feel like it was just too. And like I get it, you know, because like we were talking about earlier, they're trying to be different, do different stuff. But I don't know. I liked Because the Internet a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
And then so I got that. I really like Logic. I wasn't a huge Logic fan until Bobby Tarantino the second dropped, and I've been jamming it a lot, and it's incredible. It really is. This is coming from someone who only knew the 1-800 suicide prevention hotline song.
Right.
It was like the only one I knew.
Yeah.
So, I really like Logic now.
It's the only song I do know about Logic.
Exactly. That was the only song I knew.
But I know who he is, because he's the nerdy looking dude, right?
I can't remember the
Yes.
name of the album that it was on, but he had a bunch of songs about his past, like Soul Food and a couple of really good songs you should go listen to.
Was it?
Really gets deep on.
Oh, it was probably the last album he put out.
Yeah,
I can't remember what it was
I
called
can't
though.
remember the name of them.
Yeah, me neither. Oh well. So there's 4. Fall Out Boy.
Yeah.
They're definitely up there. A Day to Remember. Because I don't know. I just can't. I'm not really big into like screaming and stuff, but they mix it well with like pop punk.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. It sounds really good. I like it a lot. So it's them. There's a band called Modern Baseball I listen to a lot. They're really good. Did I say the Foos yet?
No, you have not.
The Foos for sure.
They put on an amazing concert.
Yeah.
By the way, if
they
you've
were
never seen,
incredible.
if you've never seen the Foos, I definitely recommend it. So does Fall Out Boy.
Well, that's actually a really hard question because I'm starting to blank on people now. You know.
All right. You got the top 8.
So who are we jamming in the car?
I know you're
Green Day today.
Yeah, but Green Day, no.
Because Chili,
Weezer.
we did jam a lot of Chili Peppers as well.
Yeah, we did.
And
Listen
we
to some Weezer.
I know one band.
Miley Cyrus.
We did jam
Party
out
in
to
the
Party in the
USA.
USA.
No.
Panic.
Panic, yeah, I really like Panic. I guess I can throw them up there and be okay with throwing them up there, for sure.
You listen to a lot more pop punk than I do.
Oh yeah,
So.
I listen to a lot of pop punk, but I've already thrown in a bunch of those bands.
Yeah.
I mean,
You don't have to choose all bands. You can choose artists as well.
yeah, but honestly, I don't really listen to a lot of like other stuff
I feel that.
outside of like those
Rock,
few rappers.
Yeah.
I mean, and there's also like some that like I listen to that I definitely don't want to throw in my top 10 though.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that.
Like like you said, Weezer, the Chili Peppers, Green Day. Yeah, I like those bands. Older Green Day, anyway. Older
Yeah.
Weezer, but they're not in my top 10.
That's fair.
Maybe Taking Back Sunday. They might
Okay.
round out my 10th.
Okay.
Because I really like Taking Back Sunday. They were a really good band. They were one of my first favorite bands too, honestly.
Now, do you have a top 5 or 10 favorite artists?
I can't really rank them in top because I listen to so many different genres of music.
Yeah.
I don't listen to solely one thing, but I listen to like a lot of Migos. I like Culture 1 better than Culture 2.
I've heard that a lot.
Yeah, they
I haven't listened to
came
either
out
of
in an
them, but I've
interview.
heard it a lot.
They came out in an interview, and Quavo said, he was like, we spent 45 minutes or less on each song in this album, and I don't feel like that's how they should have really done it. You know, especially coming off of what they had with just Culture.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a good album. But
I think nowadays you kind of have to crank out the albums just to stay relevant nowadays.
that is very true.
That's true.
That is very true, because
The world moves so fast.
Yeah. Because back in the day, you could release one album, and like 4 years later, you can release a new album, and people are still going to know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
But now you have to keep releasing.
Like at least like every 2 years.
Yeah.
Or something.
Mm-hmm.
I really like Post Malone too.
Yeah.
Forgot about
I have to
Post.
throw Post Malone up there.
Mhm.
Listen to a lot of Gucci Mane. I listen to some Logic. Listen to old J. Cole, like Forest Hills Drive J. Cole.
Yeah.
For sure.
And before. I wasn't a real big fan of For Your Eyes Only. Didn't really.
I haven't listened to his new album yet either.
I wasn't
just
the biggest
dropped
fan of it, but
Yeah.
no, I love Nirvana. Their few albums. What they have, three albums.
Unless you count the live one they did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they have to be
yeah.
unplugged one now, but
I listen to a bunch of old country too, like Waylon and things like that. My mom really grew me up on that. I can't really throw myself into one genre of listening. I have so many different.
I feel that. If I had to choose a top 10, not in any order, but I would definitely say the Foos are my favorite.
Oh, hell
just because I love Dave Grohl as a lyricist and a drummer, and pretty much
he is. I'm sorry. He's just so talented.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
In every aspect.
Yep.
I mean, he's incredible.
Yeah, the first Foo Fighter album, he played every single instrument, except for like he had a couple songs he had to have help on, and that was Pat Smear who helped him, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think Dave Grohl is actually my favorite musician. So they're definitely my number one. I'd probably say as number two, Linkin Park, just because I've seen them so many times live. Mm-hmm. And actually, I did have a tattoo made for Chester after he killed himself, and I wasn't going to see him again. I used the money I got from that concert. I got the tickets back, and I used that towards it. I would say Chili Peppers, because I love Flea as a bass player. Because whenever you think of like top bass players, he's the first person that comes to mind.
Right, Flea.
So
Whenever you know who he is.
Yes.
Yes.
Whenever you're like, Whenever you're like, huh, who's good at bass guitar? Like, oh, that guy from the Chili Peppers.
Yeah, for sure.
He just slaps it, picks it. He just he goes crazy on that thing. And so Chili Peppers. Weirdly enough, I like the Fray. I like to get in touch with my sentimental side.
Your sentimental side.
Yeah, man. Because Isaac Slade, the lead singer, he's actually a really good lyricist, man. Mm-hmm. And he can hit some high notes every now and then.
Yes, he can.
They're hella impressive.
Make you a good husband one day.
Yeah.
Get in touch with your sentimental side.
And like Panic at the Disco. Once again, vocal range is phenomenal there. Seen him live. He covered Bohemian Rhapsody. Hit the high note. Blew my mind and my dad's mind at the same time. And I'd say Weezer. I really like Weezer. And a band that I really just rediscovered as of late was Gym Class Heroes.
Yeah.
I really like the lyrics of Travie McCoy. I'm a big lyric guy, if you can't tell. What number am I on?
So I guess that's why you were talking earlier. You weren't a big fan of the mumble rap, because it's not really about lyrics. They're just kind of looking for words that go together and just.
Honestly, mumble rap, all it is the beat.
Yep. Yeah.
That's how you sound on that beat.
You know, I mean.
Yeah. That's why I'm not a huge fan of that stuff.
No, I feel like there's not, and not always, but there's not much heart to a lot of it.
Yeah. I love music with some heart, man. I like Fall Out Boy. I will say Pete Wentz is a hell of a good writer.
Right.
He doesn't normally sing the songs, but Patrick Stump normally does.
Patrick Stump. He's another one.
My favorite album is Filet Adieu by it's on my arm by Fall Out Boy. They put on a pretty good live show as well.
Yeah, they were incredible.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I was told they wasn't good live, and then I called the person who told me that and just roasted them.
Same.
So if you're watching this, you know who you are.
And we know you're watching.
And I'm at number 8, I think. Weirdly enough, I love, if you couldn't tell on my calendar, I absolutely love Weird Al Yankovic.
Yeah.
Like, I know he's not. He's technically like a parody artist, but like,
Where'd that love come from?
yeah, man. Where'd that love come from?
Mm-hmm.
Came from when I was a kid. When I heard White and Nerdy,
Mm-hmm.
and then like I went to my neighbor's house, and she had like this weird vinyl record,
Mm-hmm.
and it had Weird Al Yankovic's picture on it, and I was like, whoa. He was famous back in the 80s, and it blew my mind. And then one year, I think I was like a sophomore or a freshman.
Mm-hmm.
One Christmas, my dad got me 2 of Weird Al Yankovic's greatest hit CDs. I jammed those. And whenever he released Mandatory Fun in 2014, my dad got it for me for that Christmas as well. I jammed it, man. There's just something about Weird Al. I mean, he's the only accordion player I know by name. Or in general.
Steve Urkel.
Oh, yeah. And there's just something about how weird he is, and that he's never touched drugs at all, and that he's a family friendly.
You can just be high on
Fun.
life.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
he doesn't say anything like
Yeah.
really bad or
Yeah.
anything, and he's still pretty damn funny.
Yeah, and he's been doing this for like 40 years,
Yeah.
pretty much, and he's still one of the top parody artists.
Mm-hmm.
When you think of like song parodies, he's usually the guy you think of.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, you're like, oh man, he's parodied pretty much everyone between like Weezer,
Michael
Jackson,
Nirvana.
Chili Peppers, even like Iggy Azalea.
Mm-hmm.
He parodied her and Lord. And if he can't find I actually read about it. If he can't find a song in particular he can parody, he'll do a sound parody of that band.
Really?
Yeah. And because he's done sound parodies for Weezer, the White Stripes, the Foo Fighters, and a band that he hates named Cake.
Hate him.
He did a sound parody on them.
Trash.
They're not that bad.
They're bad.
They're not that bad. And I personally like them. Bad. But there's just something about Weird Al I just absolutely love. I want to meet that man one day.
It's it says a lot about him that he's been able to make parodies of so many songs without stepping on anybody's toes.
Yeah. Weird thing about him is that before he does a parody, he'll ask, because like the law for parodies, you don't have to ask.
Mm-hmm.
Cause it's technically, it doesn't fall under that copyright lawsuit. Mm-hmm. So if you make fun of it's a parody and they can't sue you for that. And so he'll ask the artist's permission if he can parody them. And if they say no, he won't do the parody.
I'm sure that a lot of times, like with South Park, people ask to be featured in their TV shows and be made fun of and stuff. I'm sure people come to Weird Al and are like, "Can you make a parody of this?" Yeah. I'm sure that's happened before with him.
That actually happened with Madonna.
Really?
She made she had that song "Like a Virgin."
Mm-hmm.
She made, because Weird Al was just getting big at that time, and she made a joke. Yeah, he might do a song about me called "Like a Surgeon." And that's the only song he's taken a suggestion from and still did it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I thought that was really funny. And you guys know the show Billy and Mandy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They made a video game for that, and he was the narrator in that game. Yeah. Yeah. And if I had to, I think that was number 9 for me, but if I had to pick a number 10.
Dude, number 10's the hardest.
Yeah, I know, man.
You really get down to the nitty gritty in number 10.
Yeah, I'd probably say Green Day.
Old Green Day?
Pretty much all Green Day.
Are you a fan of like Uno Dos Tres?
I like the Uno. My mom bought me all 3 for Christmas one year. I liked the first one and I liked the second one, but I was not a fan of that third one.
Mm-hmm.
But
honestly, I couldn't even tell you one song off of those.
I know the first one had "Oh Love," and that was a pretty good song.
Okay, that's like the one hit that I
What
remember.
what was this latest one they had? Radio?
Revolution Radio.
Revolution Radio.
Honestly, it wasn't a bad album.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't all that political though, which I was surprised.
Yeah, very surprised.
The music videos were, but the music wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
The music videos were very political, but like the music itself wasn't. So.
Right.
But using the platform. What would you guys consider an artist selling out?
Linkin Park.
Okay. Explain.
Okay, so their first 3 albums definitely aren't for everyone.
Yeah.
But even this, because their first 2, I'll even go farther. Their first 2 were nu metal, which is rap rock, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nu metal, which was huge at the end of the late '90s, the turn of the century, the early 2000s, big deal, because Slipknot was nu metal, Korn, Linkin Park, Papa Roach. There's a bunch of bands,
Yeah.
even like Slayer did a fucking new metal album.
Mhm.
But anyway, so so I get, and changing with the times and stuff like that. Like I get that. So by 07, whenever Minutes to Midnight rolls around, it's just a rock album, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
Which that makes sense. But then in 2011, whenever they drop 1,000 Suns, it was trash.
Mhm.
Like you said, it was dubstep era, and it was mostly an electronic sound for the most part.
Mhm.
You remember? What the 3 hits from it were The Catalyst, which was straight up a dubstep song.
Yep.
Iridescent, which that one's okay, but I mean, and then Waiting for the End,
Yeah.
and that was probably the only good song on that album, and it was super poppy because I remember it was on 95.1 and 96.1 and all
Yeah.
the stations, which that's not necessarily a bad thing. I'm just saying, it was, and then they tried with it was Living Things,
Yeah.
and then The Hunting Party. They tried with those two, and they changed their sound back up more to like rock, metal, whatever, but it was just, I don't know. They lost me after 1,000 Suns. I was done, because they were my favorite band, like
Right.
in the world,
Mhm.
and then I was so looking forward to their next album because whenever I got into it, Minutes to Midnight had been out for like 2 years,
Mhm.
and then finally 2011 rolls around. It's like a year and a half later. Was it 2011 or they? No, it was 2010.
Yeah, it was 2010.
It was 2010 when they dropped 1,000 Suns. Sorry. So about a year later, 1,000 Suns comes out and it was garbage.
Miss Midnight came out in 2008.
Did it?
I think in 2007. My bad.
Yeah, because the Transformers movie was in 2007.
Yeah.
So, anyway, and then dude, whenever they put out that last album,
Yeah.
it was trash.
Did you ever listen to anything from that last album?
Yeah, I listened to a couple songs from it.
I actually went out and bought it because I'm weird about it because I actually own all of their albums,
Mhm.
and I knew going in to the 7th album, I've heard like the first 2 singles they released before they released the album.
Mhm.
I really didn't want to buy it, but I
Right.
also wanted to have all the albums they had at the time. And then I didn't know it was going to be the last album they'd ever make. So that kind of, I did buy it before all that happened.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I think I bought it within like the first or second week it was out.
Yeah, you bought it really quick. I remember that.
But it took it took a lot of debating. Like, do I really want to buy this? It wasn't all that good. Like, really, one of the best songs off that album was like the title track. It was called "One More Light."
Mhm.
It was pretty much the best song on that album.
I don't know, man. I just couldn't get down with it anymore.
But I do agree.
And I honestly think a part of it is I was just so disappointed
Mhm.
Yeah.
by 1,000 Suns.
I was also disappointed with 1,000 Suns.
Because that actually, hurt me.
Yeah.
Legitimately hurt little
Yeah.
13-year-old James. Because, dude, they were my favorite band.
Yeah.
And I was not, especially back then, I was not about other kinds of music.
Right.
Except for rock.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
knows, he remembers.
Mhm.
But then, I mean, obviously now it's a lot different, but nope. Sold out like a motherfucker. Also, another band sold out, Fall Out Boy.
Mhm.
Fall Out Boy sold out.
Yeah.
I'll agree with that.
Centuries. That song that got really big was not.
I wasn't gonna go to Centuries though. I was gonna go to just their
Newest album.
their newest album.
Yeah.
Yeah, because honestly, I mean, Save Rock and Roll, they kind of did, but only
Yeah.
kind of. Because honestly, I used to talk so much crap about Save
that
Rock
album.
and
Yeah,
Roll.
you did.
But then whenever I actually sat down and listened to it, no, it's a good album.
Mhm.
It's a
Yeah.
really good album. American Beauty, I mean, yeah, it's more poppy. It doesn't have the emo vibe like their first 3 albums or 4 albums.
Yeah.
Their first 4 albums did, but I mean, it was still alright, at least the main songs. Yeah, I didn't really like Centuries.
But
I liked Irresistible.
yeah,
That's
a good
pretty
one.
good.
I absolutely hated the song Uma Thurman. It's because it got stuck in your head and it was absolutely annoying.
It was on
I
everything.
hated it. Even when they played it live, I still
wouldn't sing
hated
to
it.
it. He
I
wouldn't sing
hated
to
it. I refused to sing to it.
Yep, he wouldn't do it.
Their new one was called Mania. That one was a huge, obvious kind of sellout type album.
It was a letdown kind of thing.
And I think 2017 was kind of the year of musicians to sell out.
Mhm.
I see that.
Because even Weezer released a pop song, but nobody gave them flack at all, which I kind of think is kind of funny was like Linkin Park, Fall Out Boy, even Panic kind of went pop a little bit. Not really pop, but they still kind of did.
Yeah, Panic, man, they're a weird case. They're like where Fall Out Boy was whenever Fall Out Boy put out Save Rock and Roll.
Yeah.
Now, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they still because what was it? The Death of a Bachelor.
Yeah.
I mean that album had about like pop songs on it.
Yeah, but also had rock songs.
Exactly. And it was good. I mean, that's a good album.
Well, like Weezer, they released that song "Feels Like Summer" and like "Happy Hour," I think.
Mm-hmm.
Both of those were very, very poppy, and everyone's like, "Yeah, well, that's just Weezer being Weezer," and no one said anything about them selling out, which I think is kind of funny.
But there's a difference between being poppy,
Yeah,
and then being like auto-tuned BS.
yeah.
Which is what a
Yeah.
lot of these bands have become.
The website Watch Mojo, they actually put Weezer on a list of artists who sold out.
I don't see that.
Yeah, I don't see it either. They're on like the honorable or dishonorable mentions. I'm like, I don't see how Weezer sold out.
Mm-hmm.
And like Linkin Park was on the honorable mentions. I was like, I could definitely see that.
Right.
But
They should have been number one.
Yeah.
Fuck.
As Mike Shinoda put it, whenever the React channel did the Linkin Park reacts to the kids reacting, the teenagers reacting to Linkin Park. He was one of the kids said that they had sold out. He was like, "Man, it's so hard to like be a musician in today's times because you got to keep up with the times, and like to stay. It takes 12 to 18 months to record an album, and what's popular at that time is how you stay in the flow,
Right.
and it's how to stay relevant pretty much. So I see why artists sell out.
I see why they think that way.
Yeah, because like
Okay, I know you're gonna say yes, but can you blame them for selling out? Because their job is making music for the time. If you're a businessman and you ran a business this way for years and years and years and years, but times are changing, you've got to update, you've got to change because you need to make money. You want to make money. This is your job. This is your career. You're gonna do what you got to do to stay afloat. I'm not saying. See, I like the older albums. I like where they came from, and I think they should always have a twist, a hint, something where they came from. But you can't necessarily slay them so much for selling out in some sense.
But you can.
I kind of agree with that because it's the same thing as Toys R Us. They didn't keep up with the times.
But they were greedy, and they wouldn't drop their prices. I mean,
if a band's being greedy and refuses to change, and then they just slowly just die out, then
but
they could have so much more music that
then what
may
about
not necessarily appeal to you, but appeals to generations below you, and their name's still out there, and they're like, oh man, Fall Out Boys are still freaking awesome, and then you can show them the old stuff of where they came from and how. I know you'll never agree with me on that, and I'm fine with that because me and Dylan are right and you're wrong, but it's whatever.
Because what about like maybe they can change, but why do they have to go straight to the default pop bullshit? Like think about bands like Nirvana and Pearl Jam whenever they came around in the late 90s after hair metal.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, you can change, but you don't have to completely change where you came from.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, you don't have to do that, and I get it now. Nowadays, grunge would not be popular.
No.
It's not popular, and I get that. But you know what is popular? I mean, what about bands like who? The Arctic Monkeys. I mean, the Foos. They're still pretty popular. Yeah.
Gorillas are still pretty popular.
That you can still make music, stay relatively true to what you were, and you will be fine. You don't have to go to this default where you're fucking pop. Like Linkin Park did, like Fall Out Boy's doing. You don't have to do that.
Yeah.
Why? Whenever you're changing with the times, why not change the times instead of just going with it? You don't have to do that.
Yeah. I see where both of you guys are coming from, but like.
Sorry, I got a little intense.
That's cool, man. Honestly, when you look at the Foo Fighters, when you take this last album, and even that 5-song EP they did, well, let's say the last 2 albums, because they did that.
We're doing Sonic Highways and
Concrete and Gold. They weren't nearly as popular with today's demographic as Wasting Light, The Color and the Shape, Best In Your Honor. All those albums were, because the times have changed to where we're not necessarily where everyone listens to rock anymore. And 96.5 or 96.1, 95.1, they don't play rock heavily as they used to.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I think artists switch poppier so they can stay relevant, because the Foo Fighters aren't nearly as relevant as they used to be.
To throw a little bit of a different perspective on that, say I'm gonna just throw out two just artist names. You have Justin Bieber and you have Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
They both started off in one area, and Justin Bieber, though he hasn't changed a lot, his sound has changed a lot over the years, and a lot may come from even as bands where you start off at. Years and years and years of doing this, you mature, you change as a person.
Yeah.
Things happen in your lives that cause this song that you come out with may not have sounded as good in a grunge, so you find a new way to express yourself, because that's what music is. It's expression. It's a form of art.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You know, and they're just changing as their life goes on. Eminem, as we talked about him earlier, he's changing. Some say for the better, us three say for the worse, and over the years. But even where he began at, what was his big, when he was really big on drugs? His
probably Marshall Mathers
or
Encore.
Encore versus Recovery.
Right.
Recovery was a fantastic album, and if anybody says otherwise, we're gonna fight.
Oh yeah, agreed.
Really, really
Recovery
good
was
album.
really good.
And Encore was not a bad album either, but it showed his change over time.
Yeah.
And he's continued to change where he is.
In my opinion, Marshall Mathers LP2 was his last good one.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
He should have stopped at the MMLP2 because that thing was damn near a masterpiece.
Yep.
It was so good.
It was.
Good God.
But I see where you're coming from with the whole, like, why they sell out, because it is kind of the whole business aspect.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of have to run it like a business, this is why people do switch to pop, because pop is always played no matter where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
You go to a grocery store, they're playing pop channels. You go to pretty much anywhere, pop channels, because it relates to kids and teenagers, and people will listen to it.
Another thing we actually spoke on one of my sociology classes. When you're in your 20s, mid 20s, 30s, going on, how much time do you really have to take away from work, school, if you're out of college, you're buying a house and stuff, to be able to go to a concert and spend all that time away from everything else? Maybe you're starting a family at this time, versus teenagers they're like, Mom, Dad, I want tickets to this concert. Can you get me that for birthday, Christmas, or wealthier families can I just go to this and get front row seats or whatever, things like that. So they need to be able to have a younger viewing audience, because the younger audience, they're going to buy more albums, because in 10 years, when you got a wife, a family, and you're getting a house, James, do you know that you're always going to have the money to be able to drop $15 on an album? They have to look at who they're targeting.
Well, dude, most of the albums I've bought in the last few months have been put out at least 5 years ago.
Exactly.
That's why I listen to Spotify, so I can listen to things not like back in the day. And like music, we're falling into that same categories like they did back in the day whenever the Beatles came out. Like people were used to swing music.
Mm-hmm.
Elvis was big. People didn't like Elvis at the time. People hated the Beatles at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And like now, kids, they don't really like that type of music anymore either. You know.
I mean, it may. I mean, I get what you guys are saying, but still.
But like, it's unfortunate that people sell out, because whenever we grew up, they had like damn good music, and now they're like mediocre at best.
But if you were in their shoes, and also we grew up on their original, so that's what makes it so much better to us. But people that are growing up on whatever new band's going to start up next week, they might think, oh wow, they're fantastic, and then in 10 years they're such sellouts, because they had to change according to their times. It's just a thing that happens. It happens with almost every band, and unfortunately it has to be accepted.
That's true.
Regardless of whether or not you agree that it should happen, because I wish that they would stay with the sound that they had. It's going to happen eventually. I
agree with that. Do you guys have anything else to go on that category?
No, I think that was good.
That was a long-winded category.
Yeah, it was.
That was a little intense.
You can pretty much get in with that music, man. Like, you start talking about music, like, people...
Music speaks to your soul,
man. everyone loves music, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't understand how people can go an entire day without listening to any type of music, man. On my way to work, music. On my way back home, music. On my break, music. When I'm laying in bed, music.
Yeah, dude.
Imagine
Shower, music. Driving, music. Running, music. Lifting, music. All the time.
shopping, music.
Yeah.
TV, you know, there's music playing.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll mute the TV while I'm playing video games. Jam.
Yeah. I noticed, I did notice a couple weeks ago, I was watching one of the March Madness games. I noticed that every single commercial had a song.
Mm-hmm.
Either it could be either really faint in the background or it's really noticeable.
Mm-hmm.
But either way, all commercials have some sort of music in the background.
And also now, almost every single major movie that comes out has a soundtrack.
Yep.
All the big ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Guys, have any favorite music movie soundtracks?
Suicide Squad, fantastic.
Suicide Squad had a pretty good one.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Suicide Squad had a good one. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World is probably my favorite one. Guardians of the Galaxy 2's was really good.
Black
Baby-
Panther had a good one with Kendrick Lamar.
I didn't listen to any of them.
Kendrick Lamar put out really good soundtrack.
Kendrick's another one who I like a lot of his older stuff,
Yeah.
and not as much as his newer
Mhm.
stuff.
Yeah.
And then
I really like the song Hustle. Or no, Humble, my bad.
Humble.
see, I wasn't really a big fan.
I liked
Oh,
Humble
really?
and Element.
And then what else? Baby Driver. I don't know if you've seen
Baby Driver had a really
Yeah.
Had a
good,
really good soundtrack.
fantastic movie too.
Yeah, if you
Incredible.
haven't seen it, please watch it.
Yeah, it's 2017 movie of the year. Not Shape of Water. Sorry. Shape of Water is weird. I watched it the other week. Weird. Good. But
See,
weird.
now that I
not
don't-
Baby Driver.
Now that I don't work at the movie theater, I don't really watch
Yeah, I rented
movies-
that shit from the Red Box.
movies nearly as much anymore. So I'm kind of off my movie game.
If you're looking for a movie with a good soundtrack, don't watch A Quiet Place because most of the movie's silent.
And also, it doesn't what else? I can't really think of any more. You know?
The movie I watched last night didn't have a good sound. It didn't have much of a soundtrack, but it was actually really funny. It was called Game Over Man. If you're a fan of the TV show Workaholics, had all three of them in it.
Even if you're
I saw
not.
it on Netflix. So
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
actually.
even if you're not a fan of those guys, it's
'Cause
still really funny.
I'm not a fan of that show.
It's still a really
it's
funny movie.
I guess you can say the original Men in Black. Will Smith put out a really good soundtrack for that.
Yeah.
That was
Well,
honestly one of
Was
his.
getting jiggy with it on there?
Yeah, most of his best songs were actually in that movie.
I have the weirdest soft spot for Will Smith because Will Smith is the only actor who's constantly made me cry in movies.
Dude, what was that one called?
Cloud of Beauty.
Yeah.
I cried like a baby.
Same. I think I cried a good 3 times.
I teared up twice, cried at the end.
I was sitting there watching with Garrett. Oh, sorry. we'll cut that
G.
part out. G, yeah.
G Unit.
G. And he cried like a baby. And it was... I was crying too.
Yeah.
So it wasn't funny at the time, but now it's funny.
I say one of the movies that really hit my feelings the hardest, Marley and Me.
Ooh,
Yeah.
agreed.
Owen Wilson, good actor.
Alright.
Why
Now,
not?
another thing. What about TV shows? Let's just move on to TV shows completely. Because lately I've been... I know, I just kind of took over. I'm sorry.
That was cool, man.
But lately I've been...
It's not his podcast.
For the last year, give or take, I've been binge watching Netflix like crazy. Used to not do it at all.
Yeah.
Then I got to where I did it a lot.
I really like The Office. I just recently started watching The Office. I
Same.
really like it.
Oh God, it's incredible.
It's
Such a
incredible.
good TV series.
I love Parks and Rec.
I'm watching Parks and Rec right now. It's also very good.
Scrubs is a damn good one if you've never
I
watched
haven't
it.
watched all of Scrubs.
It's a damn good show.
I've really fell in love with Rick and Morty lately.
Rick and Morty, it's funny. I do like it.
I haven't watched Rick and Morty.
I liked BoJack Horseman.
I've watched some of BoJack Horseman. It's always one of those where I'll be watching a few episodes and then I'll start watching something else.
Yeah.
You know.
Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
I've heard that's really good.
I've never watched episode to episode, but I've watched enough to know what goes on, and it's pretty funny. And I do think that Danny DeVito saved that show.
The Netflix original series Punisher, really good.
Okay.
I haven't watched-
The Ranch is also very good.
The Ranch is very good.
Mhm.
Have you seen all 4 parts now?
Yes.
Yeah, I watched all 4 parts. Because I watched it because you told me to watch it.
Now Netflix is a weird thing. Is parts the same thing as seasons?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
That's just kind of how they.
Okay.
That's just kind of how they
word
decided to
it,
do it with that
contract
one,
it
yeah.
out,
But it's
Okay.
it's really good. The Ranch is really good.
And for anybody out there, has a very strong conservative undertone to it, but it does not solely fit that agenda. It has all aspects of life, man. It's a really relatable.
Oh yeah, the
TV show.
ranch for sure. Yeah, it's just because they're in the mountains of Colorado, so you know they're gonna be very conservative.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it just makes.
But there's
sense.
a lot of.
But there's a lot of
liberalistic thinking, left side thinking that comes in, and the players fight. Not the players. The actors, they fight back and forth with like an inner battle in it throughout the whole.
And it's not even really like attacking it in a political way.
Not at all.
You know, like it's just people being people.
Yeah.
And it's good. I also watched Riverdale. Riverdale's really good.
Haven't seen it.
Doesn't it have a
one of the Cole Sprouse?
Cole
Yeah.
Sprouse.
I watched Glow. The first season of Glow was good.
I've heard good things about that.
I really like Stranger Things. It was also good.
There was a really good. It's like more of a historical TV show. Jason Momoa, the guy that plays Aquaman.
Okay.
He actually directed it. It's called Frontier. It's a really good TV show.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people say Game of Thrones, but I've never personally watched it. So.
Yeah, I don't have HBO Go either. So.
Well, I think Hulu does a thing where you can get HBO now.
Oh really?
The thing
You
about
gotta pay extra for it though.
the thing about Game of Thrones is that they have no shame in taking out their like main characters. You know, they will kill them off. Like it blows your mind. You know, generally speaking, you know, in a TV show. Taking the Punisher, like we were saying, the Punisher's not going to die in it because he's the Punisher. Why would he die?
Hey man, I'm just saying, The Office got rid of Michael.
Yeah,
it's true. Yeah. Spoiler for people who haven't watched it.
You knew.
Ended in 2015. It's 2018 now.
You can't tell me you didn't.
You can't tell me you've lived this
Oh,
long.
you know it's another good show. Me and you talked about this a lot. The League.
The League.
The League is hilarious.
It's super underrated, but it's super funny.
Yeah, it's really funny.
And Breaking Bad. Like before
Breaking
I
Bad,
watched it,
that's
I knew
fantastic.
Walter White died at the end. But it's just
can't say his name, but Ginger Man that we worked at the movie theater with actually spoiled that for me. I hope you watch this and no, you ruined that for me.
Thanks a
Love
lot,
you
man.
though.
Steve Macho.
I'm keeping that at the end of everything. Just me whispering, "Stay macho."
I can't really think of anything else that I've like sat down and binged. I've tried to binge some things. Like I tried to binge Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Interesting.
It's really hard.
I've tried to.
It's very
low budget.
No, well yes, but no. It's just the story is good and it's so the nostalgia factor is incredible, but then it's just like
wears out.
Yeah. Once you get about 10 episodes in, you're kind of starting to get bored.
I did the same thing with Teen Titans. I recently purchased them all the seasons except for one, and I've watched season 1.
I mean, it's hard. I don't know why, but I've had trouble sitting down and binge watching kids shows.
Yeah. Well, Teen Titans
you grow out of it.
Yeah.
To an extent, yeah. I like kids' movies still, though.
I would say...
Love me some Disney.
You guys remember Johnny Bravo?
Yeah.
Johnny Bravo, if you go back and watch it now, it has more adult jokes in it than any other cartoon I've ever seen. Other than, obviously, Family Guy, American Dad, Cleveland Show, those sort.
Yeah.
That was a completely different time, though.
Yeah.
That's like, part of me would love to sit down and watch, like, all of Foster's Home or something, but I don't think I could do it.
Yeah, I don't think I could either.
I would get bored.
Yeah.
Because I'm all about the story now, man.
Yeah.
All about the story.
But you know TV shows that are timeless? George Lopez. If it's on TV and you don't have anything to do, are you going to try and skim through and find something? It's a good filler show.
It's true.
It's there. It's
I mean,
always there.
To an extent, maybe.
Friends.
I think that show is highly overrated.
I agree.
I don't think it's that good.
I've
I
tried.
think both of you sit on thrones of lies.
I mean, to an extent, you might be right. I've tried to watch Friends. I think I've watched like half of the first season, maybe.
I've never tried to watch it because I'm not a huge fan of Courtney Cox.
Wow, that's so random.
Yeah, I don't. There's something about her face I just don't like. She was in Scrubs.
She was also in the first Ace Ventura movie.
Yeah, she was.
Jim Carrey. Good actor.
Jim Carrey. Speaking of Jim Carrey, he's kind of gone a little crazy here.
He's become like super political too.
Yeah, but his is more of like a woke type.
Yeah,
thing.
his is weird.
Yeah,
I just kind of ignore stuff.
He's not bashing anyone. He's just like focused, man.
He's on another level.
Yeah, like he's on like a new level.
And I'm just kind of like,
He's gonna kill us. He's gonna kill somebody.
Have you guys seen You know, Jim Carrey, he's a pretty good actor, though.
Yeah.
So his older
I
stuff.
think during the 90s, he was like the highest paid actor at the time, actually.
Yeah,
Really?
I saw a trailer that he's going to be in
Early 2000s. maybe.
sometime this year, I believe.
Because, like, you know, The Mask's pretty good. The Ace Ventura
Yeah.
movie's good.
Yeah.
Mm.
You guys ever seen Men on the Moon? He's pretty good, too. That's the Andy
The
Kaufman.
Truman Show.
Truman Show.
I have never seen The Truman Show.
Mm.
It's on Netflix.
I've heard wonderful things about it.
It's
but
one of the
I've
things
yet to watch
I've
it.
been meaning to get to eventually.
Watch his stand-up comedy, too.
Okay.
Fantastic.
It's really weird that I can sit down and watch like 3 hours of a TV show, but I can't watch a 3-hour movie.
Mm-mm.
It's tough.
Yeah.
Like,
That's a lot of Netflix has began putting a lot of the really like the Goodfellas, Scarface, Godfather, fantastic movies.
yeah.
They're so long.
Yeah,
so
dude.
long. It's hard to sit down and watch a 3-hour movie. I think that was one thing that made Batman vs Superman so bad.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like almost 3 hours.
Well, besides the movie actually being
Besides the movie being trash, it's also very long. Yeah.
I'm
So
not
it's
a big fan of Ben Affleck. He did really good in The Accountant.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that was a good
But
movie.
Did not Batman.
I don't think he's a terrible Batman.
Yeah.
I just think
I
that
think Christian Bale murdered Batman. Like you cannot compare it to him. He
I-
was my favorite Batman.
I liked Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton.
Michael Keaton was my favorite Batman.
Okay, I like Michael Keaton as Batman too.
Mhm.
I also really like Christian Bale's Batman. I just feel like the biggest sin against Ben Affleck is the writing and stuff of these movies.
Mhm.
You know, because I mean, like, I don't know, the DC movies kind of suck.
Also, how can you?
My favorite long superhero movie though is The Watchmen. I don't know if you guys ever seen that one. It's
Not a fan.
fucking good. Good God. Oh my God. There's one part where this dude named Rorschach, like, he does some crazy stuff. Like, he like buries a hatchet in some dude's head for like killing a little girl.
Interesting.
I'm telling you, like if you like, cause I watched it when I was a little kid.
Yeah.
Ugh, just dumb, super long, didn't care.
Yeah.
Watched it again a few months ago because I bought the steelbook of it because it was like $8. Incredible.
Honestly, that's a big thing with Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump's like a timeless movie that you need to watch multiple times throughout your life to fully grasp.
Weird thing about Forrest Gump, I've never watched it beginning to end.
Really?
I've
But
always,
you've just seen.
yeah,
I've seen
I've
the
seen
parts.
I've seen
Yeah.
so many bits and pieces of the movie that I slammed the movie together. I know what happens,
Mm-hmm.
but like I've never sat down and watched it from the beginning all the way to the end.
I was like that for a really long time too, and then I finally actually did watch the whole thing.
Fantastic movie.
Yeah.
It's a really good
It is
movie.
a good movie.
Have you guys seen Big? Speaking of Tom Hanks movies,
I
liked
never really watched
Big
a
a
lot
lot.
of. I never really watched a lot of Tom Hanks movies.
I really like The
Also-
Green Mile.
Toy Story 1 and 2.
Fun fact about Tom Hanks in the video games that they made for Toy Story, and all the toys they made of Woody, and I think all the other things that wasn't the movie they've made with Toy Story. Tom Hanks isn't the voice actor for Woody; it's his brother.
Really?
Yeah, his brother is the voice actor.
That's weird.
Yeah, but they sound so identical, you can't really tell. But like the toys they've made isn't actually Tom Hanks; it's his brother.
What's your favorite Disney movie from whenever we were kids?
Emperor's New Groove.
Really?
Yeah, I really like that movie.
That's a solid pick, man.
I really like that movie, man.
It's a good movie. It's super underrated too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mine is Monsters Inc.
Monsters Inc. was very good.
Dude, like Monsters Inc. 4-year-old James even
Are we
understood
going
how
Disney or Disney Pixar?
Disney Pixar.
Disney
Oh,
Pixar.
Disney
then
Pixar.
I'm gonna say like Finding Nemo. Really good movie.
Oh, is Emperor's New Groove not Disney Pixar?
No, it's just Disney.
This is Disney.
Wow.
Oh.
Finally, either or then.
Okay.
Because
I'll
isn't
say-
Monsters Inc. Disney Pixar? I know
Yeah,
it is. 'cause
yeah,
I
it
remember
is.
that. Doink, doink,
I was a
doink,
really big
doink.
fan of just Disney. Hercules. I thought Hercules was a really good movie. I enjoyed it.
I actually have. I haven't sat down and watched Hercules in a really long time.
Or Mulan. Mulan's very good too.
The Lion King.
Lion King,
One of
good
my
movie.
go-tos for sure.
What's your least favorite?
From whenever we were kids or just in general?
Just in general.
That's tough, man. Because you know me, I actually really like Disney
Yeah,
movies.
they came out with
Yeah.
a lot of good ones here lately.
Yeah, I would say like.
Like,
least,
can we talk about Zootopia? That movie was
Oh,
That movie was
fantastic.
good.
Yeah, it was.
Oh my
My
God.
least favorite for me is probably Little Mermaid.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Interesting.
I can't say that. I like
Yeah.
so many of them.
Sorry, thought
I would say
that's
I saw Pocahontas so many times every year in elementary school around Thanksgiving that I guess I just saw it so many times.
Why would your school just assume that's a perfect Thanksgiving?
Every year, Blackberry, man. I'm telling you. I don't know if I can say the school name.
My school was like, oh yeah, you guys want a Thanksgiving movie? We're just gonna watch Charlie Brown.
We watched Pocahontas and Charlie Brown every year. Charlie Brown, Peanuts are classic. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
But Pocahontas, for 7 years, good lord.
You know, like
Why is that a Thanksgiving movie?
I feel like
The pilgrimage.
I can't really decide on one that I dislike the most.
Oh man.
You know one that I really liked from whenever I was like an adult though, Big Hero 6.
I've never actually got around to watching it.
It's good.
I've
I've
never heard bad things
Wall-E.
about it. I've never watched Wall-E, but I just couldn't get interested enough to watch it. So
That's how I was.
that's probably gonna be my least favorite
I
Pixar.
caught bits and pieces of it, but
I thought it was alright. I can't really remember it that much because I feel like I only watched it because I think I went and saw it in theaters, and then I honestly don't think I've watched it since. But like I'm really big if it's like a musical kind of thing. Like I really like Moana.
Moana was fantastic.
I really liked Frozen. I really liked Frozen. I'm not ashamed to admit it either.
Dude,
There's a lot of
Secret Life of Pets was really good
It's
too.
not a Disney movie though.
It was Illumination, bro.
It was yeah.
Wow, I didn't
It
know
was an
that.
Illumination movie.
I feel dumb.
I thought they made a movie similar.
We're gonna edit
Yeah,
that one
I
out.
mean, well, the crazy thing is,
No.
well, Zootopia and Finding Dory and Secret Life of Pets, they all came out in the same year.
You don't understand how hard it is to edit things out.
It's not worth it. It's not worth
It's
it.
not worth it. I'll be dumb on that one.
Especially when you're using Windows Movie Maker.
People got to be an hour and like 9 minutes in to hear that. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
They're
A
gonna
lot
be
of people
committed
listen to this
fans.
while they're driving.
Yeah. I listen
Will
to
they?
this song. Driving.
Let's hope.
Stay positive. Well, for that far in, I'm gonna go ahead and start wrapping it up. Is there any more things you guys want to talk about, or you guys got any questions for me?
The Office is really good.
You're damn right.
Big Hero 6 is really good. These two men are really good. I love video games.
favorite video game right now.
Right now?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be from it doesn't have to be from like today's time, but like just what's your favorite video game at this very moment?
This is so hard to talk about.
What about you? I'm
Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
Oh.
I loved that game. I played it entirely too much whenever it came out.
I feel that. I'm gonna say Sly Cooper, Thievius Raccoonus.
Can't pick, man. It's like picking between my children. Because, dude, like, I'm literally, like, right now playing Daxter, Bayonetta 2, and Shadow of the Colossus. I mean,
If you had to pick one,
out of those three,
yeah, like
Bayonetta 2.
okay, like like they're all three are falling from the cliff, and you don't say one. Who you saving?
I'd say Bayonetta 2 because
Okay.
I have the most in it right now.
Okay.
But are they in their systems? Because if I gotta save a system, I'm saving my PS4.
No, this is
Okay.
physical copy
Okay.
in your hand.
But I will say, Xbox is my favorite console.
Okay.
Console brand, I guess. And I think a lot of it's just due to loyalty.
Mm.
So I had the OG Xbox 360 and Xbox One.
I would say like my favorite console of all time is probably the PlayStation 2 because I played it the most out of all consoles.
That's fair.
I played it the most.
It was a really good system.
But I'm now currently an Xbox guy. Well, I have technically both, so.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
I have them all. Almost. Game systems? But I think another one though, like I can't really pick what would like my second and third favorite be because I love Nintendo. Like I love Nintendo. I have
The Game Boy.
No. I threw this and called it, and I thought it was cool.
I have become such a fanboy. And like, you know, like I don't really know why I never was because like I love like Pokemon is like one of my favorite brands and it always has been.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even before the Pokemon Go Fates and all this
I
shit.
never played the games, but I did watch the show.
I love
Really?
Pokemon.
It was Pokemon technically an anime?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Favorite anime, if you guys have one.
Pokemon.
Naruto.
Dragon Ball Z.
I've never really watched anime. I want to though.
Me neither.
I
I
know.
watched Naruto and I watched Pokemon.
I know it would be something that once I kind of got into, I would be really into it.
Mhm.
Because I'm really into like everything that's fucking nerdy.
True that.
You're a weeaboo. You want to be Japanese?
Why are you guys whispering?
I mean, the only thing from Japanese culture I really like right now is wrestling.
I love wrestling. You're not a big wrestling fan. I respect that.
Damn, bro, we should talk about wrestling. We need more time. Can we break this video up into 2 pieces?
We can.
Let's do that. 2 parts.
Okay, so
And we'll be
shoot
like-
for 2 hours.
Part of the way through the second part. You can do it, man. Who
I ain't been
cares?
home for too long.
What is tomorrow but yesterday's today? What? What is today but yesterday's tomorrow? That's what I meant to say.
What?
What is today but yesterday's tomorrow?
Do you guys work Thursday?
Yes. Come on, man.
Come on, dude. We're already an hour and 13 minutes in.
Yeah, might
It's
as well.
47 more minutes. Has your mom called yet?
It is 11:43.
You gotta be at school by 9.
Yeah, I'm probably heading home before too long. I'm not pulling 2 hours. All right.
We'll do an hour and a half.
Okay.
Yeah, I can pull another 15.
All right.
Screw it. And then, I mean, hell, we can finish up the last 30 minutes just a one-on-one.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I
I used to close the theater and get up and be at school by 8 a.m.
Back in my day, I used to walk uphill both ways.
Alright, fair
Back in
enough.
my day, I had to walk to World War II just to get to school.
Right through Hiroshima. What?
Right through the Civil War and everything. I still made it to school on time. You tell me you can't wake up before 9 a.m.?
My God.
When I was growing up, Hurricane Hugo hit every day, and they gonna complain about Katrina.
That's how they sound sometimes.
Dude, the thing I hate the most is whenever, like, northerners move down here, like, are you guys gonna close the school in one drop of snowflake?
Oh,
Yeah, oh my God.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Have you seen our back roads?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, yeah, you wouldn't have been able to make it down my road either,
Yeah.
Yankee. Like,
Also, it's called a trash can, not a waste bin.
yeah.
It's
You
called
tell
a
'em.
buggy, not a shopping cart.
It's called soda, not pop.
Nerds.
Nerds.
Let's beat them up. How many times are we gonna teach you this old lesson, old man? SpongeBob is such a memeable. It's memeable word.
Spittoon, how tough are you?
I ate a whole bowl of cereal, so without any milk.
Go right in, sir.
I don't know why, but the way that man says milk is my favorite thing.
Without any milk.
Dude, that
Without any
episode is
milk.
hilarious. Funny story. One of the first times ever, I think it was the first time I ever watched that show. It came out, it was one of like the first seasons of SpongeBob, if not the first. I remember it was me and Will, my brother, we're sitting in one of the playroom in my house, which I don't think you've ever been in there.
No.
But it was like the double doors from my living room when you go farther. It was a
Yep.
playroom. And we were sitting there watching this show, and I'm like 2 or 3 years old. It's one of my like first memories. And I laughed so hard, I shit myself. That part whenever Patrick's beating himself up. Yeah, like that part where Patrick's beating himself up, you know what I'm talking about? And he gives himself the wedgie and you can see his hairy ass. Dude, because I needed to poop anyway. You know, and like I said, I was like 2 or 3.
What in
Laughs-
the actual ass?
Laughed so hard, I pooped.
That is hilarious.
Yeah. And isn't that incredible?
It's man.
That episode still tears me up.
Oh god. I don't think I've ever shit myself. Well, I can't say I've shit myself watching TV. I've never laughed over to the point I shit myself. There was one time when I was like, I think it was sophomore year of high school. I was watching TV. I don't even remember what show I was watching, but I was eating Fritos, and you know how sometimes you feel comfortable and you're just cocking your leg up to release something out.
Yeah.
It was not gas. It was a straight up dookie. And I panicked, man. I did not know what to do. I was like, whoa. I was just sitting there. I was really scared. So I called my boy. I was like, yo, man, I just pooped my pants watching TV, man. What do I do? And like he stopped everything. Like it was a murder. And he was like, dude, what you want to do is hit that bathroom. Don't even bother cleaning out your drawers. Throw that thing out immediately. Throw it out.
Yep.
Take a shower.
Yep.
And never talk about it ever again.
Yep.
Dispose of the evidence. Clean yourself up. And continue like nothing else.
See, now whenever I poop myself, I just think it's funny, and I tell people.
I called him. I was like, yo, dude, what the f*** do I do here? here.
like let's
I've never been here before.
let's go back to a fateful night in 2016. We're at the theater, you know. I'm about to go sit in and watch South Park, or not South Park, sorry, Sausage Party with my boy Jay Clarke.
I was working that night.
You were. One of our other friends was on door, sitting there talking to him. You know, I thought I needed to fart. You know, like I think I knew I needed to poop, but it was like, you know how you can like release some farts to kind of help it like.
Yeah, bubble up.
Settle.
Yeah, settle down some. So that's what I was doing, and you know, like, just took a chance, man. Backfired, literally. Pooped myself.
It was hilarious.
I think
We were in the middle of like a very funny conversation. Everybody was laughing, and James goes from like a laughing face to like, boom, gone, like just gone. And me and our other friend were standing there talking, like, man, James didn't even say bye. I was like, is the movie starting? He was like, no, not for like another 15 minutes. I was like, huh, whatever. So I just sat out there and waited, and James was like, I'm not fucking leaving.
Well, that's not true. So I go in there, get in the stall, you know, take my underwear off, clean myself up, and finish, you know, actually go poop, and then like, and then man, I tossed them shits, man. I tossed my underwear in the 5 through 10, man, in that hallway, in that men's restroom.
I love where this conversation has gone.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about what happened in the Moana movie.
No, we're not talking about what happened in Moana. That one will be off the record after, so Dylan knows what we did. That's what I was telling you about earlier.
Oh.
In 7, yeah.
Theater 7.
It was funny though.
So funny.
And if anyone wants to know, you can ask, because I will tell you. But anyway, so yeah, toss my underwear though. Walk out front. I told Jordan, I'm just like, bro, I just shit myself. And then I was like, I also don't have on any underwear now.
I don't even ever shit myself in public, so I have that going for me.
Yeah, I just don't know how. I don't know what happened, man.
There was one time in junior year where like they made Philly cheesesteaks for the very first time. They were undercooked as fuck, and I was one of the brave souls who tried them. I got food poisoning that weekend. It was like Super Bowl weekend of like the 49ers and Baltimore, so like 2012, I believe. That was 2012, right? 2013? I don't know.
13.
Yeah, 2013.
I want to say 2012 was Pats versus Giants.
You're right. And yeah, so I was sick that weekend. Had diarrhea all weekend. Monday morning, I wake up normal. Like I felt fine. I'm in the shower, release a little fart, but liquid just like pours out of my ass, and I was like, oh god. Like, I finished the shower like normal. I was like, Mom, Mom, I do shit in the shower. She was just like, whoa, get your ass in bed. You're not going to school today. And the next day, it was Tuesday, and I went into class, and like the teacher was like, why weren't you here yesterday? And I was like, you want me to tell you the truth? You want me to lie to you? He was like, well, I'd prefer the truth. And I was like, all right, dude, look, listen. I shit myself in the shower. And my mom told me to go back to bed. And he was like, wait, so you shit yourself in the shower? He left the classroom for like 15 minutes just laughing. He brings the assistant principal in. I have to tell him too. So like, I just caused two people just to lose it, man. And they're like, well, at least he's honest enough to tell you why he missed school.
That's hilarious.
Funny story from when me and James, his senior year was my junior year of football. This is summer conditioning, big deal, big year. One of the first years we went to the playoffs in many, many, many years. Well, we split up between JV and varsity. JV's doing conditioning while we're lifting.
Yeah.
In the middle of JV doing conditioning, we're walking out to the field and they're finishing up. While they're finishing up, not saying any names, this poor kid, he's a freshman, doesn't know any of us, probably scared as hell, is in the middle of running and just shits all over himself.
I remember that. That was like the first
First
day.
day.
Oh my
He
God.
never came back after that. I saw him around school a couple times afterwards, but he was standing in, at the time, what was the wrestling room, just waiting, like shaking, as we all came in, walking past this kid who hadn't showered, hadn't changed, just reeked. And everybody's just looking at him, and you know that kid just wanted to leave, switch schools, find a new skin to live in. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
and
the worst case scenario.
our coaches did not make it any better.
No.
We walk out there, and the first thing we hear, man, this conditioning we got is so hard for y'all. One of them boys done shit himself. Oh, that was.
And it's just like, for me, is my first football workout, and I'm just like, oh my God, like, what have I gotten myself into?
I got a concussion when I played football.
It ended up not being that bad. Not like that.
Not that bad.
I was just running a
I
lot.
eventually stopped playing my freshman year because I had like 2 concussions and a messed up shoulder. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna call it quits here.
Suffered through many years.
I was the mascot that dressed out. Everyone loved me.
I actually became better.
Hey, you're my
I
practice
was
squad OG.
Yeah, I was.
I was actually a better cheerleader.
Yeah, you were.
Me and my boy, he had long blonde hair, and I was overweight. Still am. And
Okay.
we looked like the movie characters Jay and Silent Bob. So I was like, man, why don't we just get like one of those little white boards and write on there, let's get a woo. Give us a woo, man. And we went to I think the first one we did was like homecoming game, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're walking around.
Your junior year, right?
Yeah, it was like we started my junior year.
I think you did it 2 years.
Yeah, we did both 2 years, and we came back after we graduated and did it one night, and we haven't done it since. But we really didn't think it'd become a thing our junior. We did it once junior year for the first time. It was that homecoming game. So we're walking around the game. This one dude from the opposite team, it was one of the parents or something. He's like, he reaches in his pocket. He hands us like $12, 6 apiece. He's like, go get yourself a movie. And we're just like, what the does that? I'm like, stop. Appreciate the money, but like, don't be weird. And
Movies cost more than $6.
Matinee.
Trust me, even now.
yeah,
$6.41.
Go
Wow.
get yourself a movie.
Go get yourself most of a movie ticket, sonny.
Well, 12 would have got one person in.
12 would have got one person in,
Yeah.
just barely.
Well, we could have gone to like a video rental.
That's
I
true.
could have gone to the Carolina Theater.
That's
$3.
even more true.
Yeah, or state.
Stay,
Or
yeah,
state,
it's like $4,
yeah.
$5 person.
But
Yeah.
we started.
But, you know. Yeah, I can't blame you for going anywhere else.
Yeah.
But the theater that I may or may not work at. I'm not gonna name any names.
We started.
Hey!
We started.
Hey.
Doing,
Hey!
but,
That's a second subliminal joke in this one. High five.
Hey, woo. But
Anyway.
but we started. Sorry for that weird noise. But we.
That's a nervous noise.
we started doing that.
Wait, do the intro noise that you did earlier. Smooth jazz.
Mouth trumpet. Ladies.
Oh man.
Can somebody play the skin flute?
Please date me.
Please.
You're married, right? I'm just kidding.
He might as well be.
5 kids.
How the fuck do you have 5 kids, man?
You're like
I can't
20.
pull out of a driveway.
Same, bro. But yeah, we
I'm squeaky clean, dog.
we started doing that.
The woo.
The woo junior year, and it was a success. And like the next game, or the next home game, I think it was you because you weren't varsity yet.
Yeah, he would have been JV.
Were you
I was
a freshman?
JV and I played up some, but not at.
Okay. Because like, I think, hey man, are you gonna be at the next game like that? And I was like, I guess I can be. Yeah. And then we started doing it to every home game.
Mm-hmm.
And then like at the end of the season, we were trying to find other sports to go to, but no one was like, except for one of the soccer coach. He was like, hey man, it'd be kind of dope if you guys were there. And he didn't think we would be. And like we showed up like
You talking about beautiful?
yeah, we showed up like middle of the first quarter of the soccer game, and like you can kind of tell that the team needed something to lift them up. And they look over and they see us walking around towards them, and they're just like, "Oh my God, they are there."
Fun fact: my early memory of this man was when he was walking around asking for a woo.
Yeah, the sign would say, "Can we get a woo?" And then people would be like, "Woo!"
And then when you guys tally it, or
we tallied it for a couple games, and then like our senior year, everyone was like, "You coming to this game? You coming to this game?" I think we went to like 2 away games.
That's awesome.
He came up to me and he put the sign in my face, and I just looked at him. He's like, "Can we get a woo?" I was like, "No." He's like, "Can we get a woo?" I was like, "No." He's like, "Can we get a woo?" I was like, "Woo." He was like, "There we go. That's one of them."
I think you're the first one.
No.
No, come on.
I was like, my 8th grade or freshman year,
Yeah,
one of them.
Yeah, it's probably your freshman year.
Yeah, like honestly, we were better than the actual cheerleaders we actually had.
Y'all were better than the football team.
But my senior year, we were good.
Yeah.
Let's not say what year that is, because I claim that as my graduating year. 'Cause I'm not proud of my actual graduating year.
No, you shouldn't be.
Hey, we were the only team to beat Bandies in 6 years. What's up?
That is true.
Dab on 'em.
That was the only game they won.
I was hurt for 4 of the games, so whatever.
Is that why you lost 4 of
Yes.
them?
No, because those were the 4 hardest people we played.
Watauga.
The one game they won was the 4 weeks he was out.
No, that was the game I got hurt in.
Oh,
John Collins' big ass head.
I'll say it was so you guys would have lost to Watauga, Freedom, Bunker Hill, but you guys still lost to him
Yeah, we did. Oh, we lost last minute against them because they had 12 men on the.
Because Bunker Field would have been one of those early games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should be listening to it.
Fuck listening.
All right.
Anyway,
Well, I think we're just going to wrap it up here, guys. It's been a great first time ever you being on here. So I appreciate you coming.
I appreciate you having me.
And I appreciate you, James, for being on here again.
Always a pleasure.
This is James McDowell. And if you want me to put I'm gonna put the link for your Instagram. It's called plug it. Just plug it.
The Journey of James.
The Journey of James. I'm not on Instagram much, so I didn't know the name.
It's cool, dog.
The Journey of James. I'll put that in the link.
We'll get that link on there.
Do you want me to put your link for anything down on the bottom?
If you want, man, I got him tagged and stuff on the
Yeah.
Journey of James.
He's got me tagged. You'll catch me on the journey. I'll start featuring stuff from the journey.
And
on my
OG Jordan
page.
Clarke.
OG Jordan Clarke. It's hard to mess up.
And you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. MachoBurger does have a Facebook that I pretty much post on that more than I post on anything else that I have MachoBurger on. But if you do have questions or anything, you can put them in the comments. I try to respond relatively quickly if I see it. I know there's a couple times that it took like 2 months for me to respond, and I apologize for that. But just like, share, comment,
Subscribe.
subscribe.
Check out my mixtape.
Oh yeah, he's gonna make a
I got a
mixtape.
gonna make-
mixtape coming out soon.
We'll have him back on here whenever it drops.
Same.
But,
We'll do an album review.
yes, I will. Well,
Alright.
it's great to be back, guys, and I hope you guys are looking forward to more videos coming. If you guys want to send some album reviews that you want me to see review, hit me up. I'll do it. Thank you guys so much for being with me for the past 2 years, even though I haven't done anything, and I appreciate that so much. For all the people who really wanted us to come back, I love you guys, and thanks for the support. Till next time, stay macho.
Oh.
this a bad idea?